All right, shalom. I'm back with another quick video. This one will be a little more informal. Um, I'm basically just chit chatting with you guys, uh, pre-recorded. I woke up this morning, took my test, and I got an A on that, so that freed me up to do some stuff. And now I'm having my much enjoyed long awaited tea time, having my green tea with my chlorophyll and lime. And I was just doing some reflecting and wanted to share some thoughts with you guys. Yesterday, I was talking to my sister Azariah, and that was a trial in itself because it was like the enemy just did not want us to talk. But all praise to the Most High, we were able to have a very edifying conversation. It was very encouraging, a lot of confirmation and stuff like that. And it's been a lot going on these days, few days. Of course, outside of the everyday stuff that we deal with, um, there was an incident where someone, and I'm not going to divulge that information, but someone who I'm acquainted with was about to attempt suicide. And I just, I never thought in my mind that this person would do that. And I saw them, posting things online that were raising flags in my mind. But when people do things for attention, I tend, not all the time, because it depends on what it is. If it's something subliminal, then I kind of deflect, like I just disregard the attention seeking. But this person wasn't generally like that. But I wasn't sure what was going on because, on social media, unless you're on that person's page, you don't see every single thing they post. Like when you have hundreds of friends and followers and stuff like thousands of people, you don't see everything the person posts. So it just so happens that I saw this one post where the person was talking about ending their lives and all of this other stuff. And I was just so thrown through a loop because, like I said, I never thought this person would be dealing with any type of depression or anxiety, devastation, whatever it might have been at that point that occurred to push that person to the point where they were just like, I give up. So, of course, I reached out to that person. We're acquaintances, so it's not like we're extremely close. However, we have had conversations on several occasions, and we always try to encourage one another. So it came down to emotionally being distressed, mentally being distressed, and allowing those things to distract you or to distract that person from what their actual purpose is. And this person, they, encourage thousands of people, because you have access to so many people um, on the internet. So they encourage thousands of people and stuff like that. So it's like you never really know what somebody is going through and what they're dealing with. So it's important for us to be our brother and our sister's keeper. That's important. And to connect with each other and be there for each other and not just so caught up in our own stuff that we're not considering anybody else because that person has a child. That child would have lost their parent, possibly even turned away from the truth because the example that you leave when you commit suicide is that this truth is not real. That's the impression that you give off when you do something like that. And it's so weighty, so much more than outside of yourself and your children and your spouse, if you have a spouse, or if you have children, your family, 'cause you have parents, you have cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. You have people in the faith who have become your true family, how that will impact them. Somebody struggling with the same thing, and the people that you influence, they're going to look at that and say, well, what's going on? Especially those who may be weaker in their faith. So it was just really a wake up call to me. So, first, don't be so desensitized when people are doing things for attention. I need to look into it, and I did that today, and some of it just led to disappointment, honestly, because it was someone I had recently added, and they were giving out some good information as far as health and stuff like that. Everybody uses truth as a gimmick. Let me retract that. A lot of people now use the truth as a gimmick to connect with a certain type of person or a certain group of people because they know we will support our own. So I felt like it was a gimmick because then they have all this lewdness and lasciviousness and all of this stuff. And I actually came across this person from somebody else I was connected to and had an opportunity to recently encourage. And the information they were sharing was dynamic. So I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to check this person out. And it was one day it's great information, the next day is crap. For lack of a better word, it's just garbage. You're gonna be. It was very whorish. That's the most polite term I can come up with. It was some whorish behaviors going on, and I want to talk about that too. But to close off one thing and segue into the next thing, um, it really, this situation, really made me stop and look at myself. It really made me check myself and how I might be desensitized to certain things. And when you're desensitized to certain things, you might miss little cues that people are putting out there. Um, So I need to just be more mindful of that. And additionally, it really gave an actualization to how much what we do impacts others. Because had I not had previous exchanges with this person, and sometimes it can be a stranger that talks somebody off a ledge, so to speak. But this person isn't like that. you know, they're I don't know you, I don't know what you're about, so I'm not really interested in conversing what I'm about to do with you. So it's important to connect with each other. It's important to encourage each other. It's important to follow up with each other, and follow up, that's a that's a task, okay? That's where bear ye one another's burdens comes into play, because it's not just a once in a while type of situation. Some people, I keep in contact with maybe once a week or a couple of times a week. If some people require every day, you just have to do what you have to do. This thing keeps falling off my head. I'm not bringing out no scriptures, but I still threw it up there. Um, and that was one of the things that I shared with that person. The scripture where if you bind up the strong man, then you open up the door for the enemy to come in and wreak havoc in your home and take over your home. Okay? So The husband first, and then the wife, the father, and then the mother are the first lines of defense in the household for these children. We can't allow these doors to be open because of the things we do. We opening doors to allow the enemy to attack our children directly. We have to close those doors, shut them completely forever, and don't give the enemy any place, any room, not an inch in your household. So, and I talk about this, I've mentioned it before, but you need to talk to somebody. If you don't have somebody to talk to, talk to yourself. I mean, not in a literal, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine, how are you? Not that sense, but just speak your thoughts out loud. Talk to the Most High. Write out what you're thinking and what you're feeling. You need to release, you need to express. And if you need someone to intervene, find someone to intervene. That's a part of your job. We're supposed to walk with people, but how do we know who needs the help? Who needs the assistance? Unless the Most High puts you before someone, you might need to reach out and say, hey, can you, will you, be my accountability partner? Or I would love to just, chat and touch bases, as brethren in this walk together. Like, let's just keep in touch. Something that simple. And after you've established that connection and it's agreed upon, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm having a rough day. I just need to tell somebody about it, and going from there. There's nothing wrong with that. And it takes the pressure off, because I know I'm not the most social person, but and I'm talking about just me, myself. But I connect great with a whole bunch of people that I've met on different, social media outlets. And I have no problem walking with somebody, talking with somebody. I've gained sisters in this truth, um, from just simply connecting, just establishing that first conversation, that first initiation of, hey, I want to chat, or, whatever. Yeah. Okay, email me. I tell everybody, email me. Email me whatever you want. I will answer whatever questions you have, as long as it is in my ability to answer those things. And I don't have a problem giving out my number or whatever, because I know what it takes to endure in this walk. And that's the other thing I share with that person, is that only those that endure till the end, those are the ones who'll be saved. So can't go out like that. Like, as tough, rough, horrible as it feels, ask for help. Like, we demonize asking for help so much, and we shouldn't. The Most High says you have not because you ask not. And it doesn't even have to be you contacting somebody direct. You can pray and ask the Most High to send somebody for you, and He'll do that because He's faithful. He'll send somebody to you or put you in somebody's path. You guys will have the exchange, and then that'll be it. I need somebody to tell me how y'all keep these scarves hanging on your head. I mean, maybe my head, I don't have enough head to hold the scarf, or it's too silky or something. Somebody let me know. So that was a major thing that happened in the midst of all this Passover mess going on with the perverting of the scriptures and stuff like that, and dealing with trolls and stuff like that. I was distracted with that, and then the person had the situation, and we had to deal with that, and it's just always so much going on. Life is so eventful. Um, but you keep moving forward in the Most High. I need to shake my tea. Okay. So, all right, the person. The person who was giving out all of this great health information, and you guys know I'm an advocate for that. Um, they had some other stuff going on. And I was talking to my sister yesterday, my sister in the truth, most high bless her. Um, and it came up in the conversation about modesty and how sometimes, how can I word this appropriately? Sometimes in our efforts, we lack. And you know the saying, when you know better, you do better. When you first transition into the truth and you gather your modest apparel and stuff like that, there are things to consider. And this is how and where modesty becomes a lifestyle and not just what you have on, but it's a mentality, it's a thought process that occurs when you are executing your modesty. And the thought process that should occur is, well, first, okay, is it long enough? Is it, cover? Will it cover in length? Um, is the size okay? But we need to also address the fit of things. And sometimes some things are just going to fit some type of way. Okay? We already know that. The thing about it is, and I've seen this a lot, and I was blessed by the Most High to prevent myself from doing this unaware. Like, it immediately kind of stuck out to me. So I didn't do it myself, but I see it a lot. And the weather's about to break, so I hope we can get past that. We can get out of that. But there's some shirts, like, you can classify them as basic knit tees or basic cotton tees. They're just like a basic color t-shirt or, shirt, what have you. And it has a little spandex in it, and it's probably like cotton spandex or something like that. Just basic little t-shirts. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're form-fitting. And the thing with that is that it shows the shape of your breast. When you consider modesty, that would be something you would actively seek not to do, not to have your shape revealed. Now, everything isn't going to hide, your breast, your situation, but you also don't have to choose things that cling to them. We have to watch necklines. We have to watch the fit of the clothing and how it falls. So I had several of those type of t-shirts. I used to work in I used to be management and retail. So I had several of those, little throw on t-shirts, and it's easy to throw those on with a skirt, just real quick, throw those on and some sandals. That was my go-to outfit all last summer. But I always had a vest over top of it, like a denim vest. And I do have a couple of thin, like shawls or shrugs, cover-ups, whatever you guys call them, but I have thin ones that I do wear over top of my dresses and stuff like that to cover my behind, because nobody wants to see that. Or somebody might want to see it, but it's not for them to see it, okay? So that's the whole point. The point is to keep yourself covered and to not do anything intentionally to cause your brother or sister to stumble. If you're very shapely, grow in that area of properly covering yourself. Because it can be a stumbling block and it can be a distraction, and when men are more visual than women. So if you just see butt and boobs everywhere, and I mean, you're showing it. You might not have it hanging out, but you can see the shape of it. You can still see it. Like, you defeated the purpose of your attempt to be modest. And this is just a learn and grow aspect of that. So, the young lady who's putting out the information, you know, well, I already revealed it was a young lady, so there you have it. Um, she had on some very provocative clothing, very, very tight underclothes for me. What I wear is underclothes. That's what she had on. Claim, she's in the truth and everything. And yet, you're enticing people to lust after you. That's wicked. That's wicked. You should not leave the house with the intention of enticing someone. Like, what scripture base do you have for that? There is none. So we have to just get away from that, and it is a process. It's definitely a process because when you spend so much time in the world and doing worldly things, you will kind of have it ingrained in your mind, in your habits, that this is okay, this is acceptable. But when you grow in grace and in obedience and in love for the Most High, you'll have that strong, burning desire to just please Him. And you won't be out here trying to entice a man and cause him to stumble and cause him to fall, or any of those things. But it's a level you must get to before that's accomplished. Excuse me. So, yes, that's something we have to be mindful of. And it's really great when you start early teaching your daughters and your sons, because they need to know what a righteous female consists of as well. Um, when you start early, then it becomes ingrained in their minds, and where that worldliness would have been the standard and what's acceptable. Now you have righteousness as the standard and what's acceptable. Um, when in doubt, don't do it. That's what I say. When in doubt, don't do it. So that's that. What else I want to share with you guys? Passover. We're getting ready to celebrate Passover. Yes, excited. Wednesday at even, we will be celebrating Passover. And I just thank the Most High for another year, another Passover that I'm able to celebrate with my wonderful husband. And like, I thought about last year and how it was, and think about this year and how different it's going to be, but also how different I am, and how it, and I don't know if this makes sense, but it just means so much more to me because last year, I mean, when I say I was running around crazy, I was running around crazy trying to get everything together for Passover because we hosted it at our house last year. This year, I'm like, let's get the leaven out. In addition to that, like, I'm self-examining myself. I'm scanning myself. Every day I'm scanning myself. I'm looking at what am I doing? What am I watching? What am I entertaining? What am I projecting? What energy am I giving off? Like, what's going on with me? And I definitely recommend that for everybody. And it's just a continuous process. It's not something you do and then say, okay, well, I think I've grown. I've, gotten to this point, so I'm good. Like, no, you, great. It's great you've grown. It's great you've gotten to this part. What next? It doesn't just stop there. So it's a continual situation. It's a continual um, examination of self. That's so important. And that's the only way truly we can effectively work to make it into the kingdom. Because if you're not examining yourself and lining yourself up with the scriptures and, you know, measuring your obedience to the word and stuff like that, how can you accurately or honestly measure where you are in the truth? And it's so much stuff going on out here. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy. So, I guess um, the only thing additionally I would share is just for all my people in the truth to be careful um, in the sense of making sure, you remain blameless before the Most High. And also understand this two-thirds thing is real. It is so real. There are so many people in the so-called truth operating outside of scripture, outside of the will of the Most High, outside of the spirit of the Most High. And when you see it, address it. Don't run away from it. And I'm not saying attack anyone, no. But, you have to go to that person privately and hash out whatever it is according to the scriptures. You got to have the scriptures. And then you deal with it accordingly, like scripture says we're supposed to do. But it's too much stuff going on out here. It's too much witchcraft out here amongst us so-called, Hebrew Israelites. Like, it's too much lasciviousness. It's too much hatred, especially towards one another. It baffles me at times. Um, it's it's just a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and it's so much going on that in my mind I was a little frustrated. I couldn't understand why it would be so hard to find someone to build with in the truth, and really get some things established amongst our people. And then I got unfrustrated when I just looked down my timeline and saw the foolery that was taking place. I mean, if you're still talking about what's your zodiac sign, you need to check that. That's not in scripture, okay? Not for us to do, not for us to partake in. There are no scriptures to back that up. So, no, like, I'm unbothered if you disagree with that. That's not for us, okay? We're not mystics, okay? We don't delve in mysticism and the horoscopes and stuff like that. It's this crystal debate going on about whether or not we should use crystals and stuff like that. What I would tell you is research it for yourself. Research if there were crystals in a temple. Research if our people, and it's important for me to say our people because we're not to take on heathenistic customs. So research if our people use those things for healing. Just do your research, do your due diligence before you just jump on every new fad that comes. I'll stop there because I have several other thoughts that I could share, but then I'll be talking for probably another hour, and I would like to finish my tea and whatever else I need to do. I'm pretty sure I need to do some meal prep. So, yes, if you guys have any comments or any encouragements or something like that, leave it in the comment section. Um, Definitely pray for the chosen, pray for the elect and those who will sojourn with us. Um, and those who are against us, we already know their end. They know their end. And they know that without the permission of the Most High, they can't touch us. So all they'll do is try to attack, but understand what's going on in the spiritual realm. You have the Most High, you have His angels, warring, guarding you, all around you on your behalf. So until next video, shalom.